Hello again, we're out with Isabel exploring the beautiful Jurassic Coast with caves, pinnacles, flush down the pan, some scenery and a little wave. We're starting from Studland Beach, which is easy access for parking, launching. Isabel scored a helping hand on the launch from some other sea kayakers just putting in there, so a big thanks to them, whoever you may be. And we are quickly underway off to the rocks. You can see in the background the other sea kayakers also heading in a similar direction. And we're already approaching the rocks. It's only about a mile from the shore to the rocks. Bit of gestures helps you think you know what you're doing. Through all the moorings there in the summer, this is all packed with yachts all turning up for the beach. I've deliberately chosen a calm day. Isabel's paddled with me before. She's done a fair bit, but not frequently, and this is probably the most open water and the more rocky that she will have done. So we wanted it fairly civilised. So I pondered at this point going through the hole in the rocks, but also going through the gap between the rocks. I decided against it in the end. You could see there was a good flow that would have pushed us through, so couldn't really change your mind. So decision made, we'll head off around the end, which will give the views around old Harry and his missus. It is a tide race there, but we're close to the slack, so it's a bit splashy, but nothing terrible. A few rocks breaking over the ledge around old Harry. You can lip read there, she's being really positive. Not. And check out above the cliff, you've got the old biplane doing tourist flights up there. So once clear of the ledge, you make a turn south, you go over the tide race. It was close to slack, so it's pretty docile today. There's almost no wind, but still a little bit of sploosh. Fortunately gets a smile instead of terror. And then you get that spectacular pan around to the opposite side of this peninsula. You can see all the pinnacles, the caves, the holes. Fascinating bit of coast. In case you're wondering, the blue boat is a Valkyrie and the camera on the blue boat is an Insta360 X3 in the invisible dive case. The yellow boat is a Delphin and the camera on that is an Insta360 X2 in an aftermarket dive case, which is why you will see some black lines where the stitching lines are, because the dive case is not very kosher. So creeping in close now to have a look at some of the caves and the little holes through the rocks. All quite fascinating, and we had the biplane earlier going over the cliffs, and as you come in here,
Spitfire.
So while the Spitfire checks us out from above, we're checking out all the holes and caves down below. Isabel's turn. It's not a huge swell, you can imagine this on a really rough day. Brilliant. Not suitable for shiny boats, but it gets a smile. So we survived that with sense of humour still intact. The gap there is what we saw from the other side, and the small tunnel goes through the headland, weaving between the rocks. Quick random nod, the international code for there's a rock down there. And we'll come up to the next archway right here, looking through to the pinnacles. That's a cracking view, that little one. Maybe I need to get out more, but I like it. The left hand one is the Haystack, the right hand one is the Wedge. We'll be heading up close for a decent look in just a moment. Bit less sploosh, so a bit easier for Isabel to get through. There are some rocks there, and she misses them. Amazing. There's old Harry just peeping around over her shoulder there. Almost close to the haystack, and here we go, there's the first cave. Got to have a look at caves, that's law. And these are the two kayakers that helped Isabel launch back at Studland. And I think this is probably the first cave Isabel's paddled into, so keeping cautious. Back to the daylight, moving on towards the haystack, rudder back down and through another gap. Clear view of the wedge. No sploosh, easy gap, goes through, happy, bit of stitching line visible, sorry about that. As the day warms up, the pogies are no longer being used, suggested it's worth putting them away. It turns out to be a great time for some violence. Back on the road, coming up to the wedge. One of the tour boats going by offshore, and this one you can see there's a rock right in the middle of the gap. And there's a little bit of sploosh going on. It's docile. I got through easy peasy. Isabel didn't have the run up. The look of terror. Survived and smiling. Leaving the wedge behind, and dead ahead there's another cave. Got to give it a go. Doesn't go far, so I just reversed in. Still a cool shot. Not much to see or do, tiny beach there, probably massive headache on a wavy day. And we're back out. A little inspiration from Borat perhaps there. So as we head towards the point, we get the chance to improve diplomatic relations between the smokers and kayakers. If you don't recognise the reference, check out my video with the needles. Next up, a couple of big motor yachts coming into Swanage Bay, which of course leaves a bit of a wake, so you have to try and surf it. Try I did, they were underwhelming. I caught a couple. Soon found myself a long way away from Isabel, so in the interest of being sociable, I head back. By now she's getting cold, so it's time to move back. If you want to see what's beyond in Swanage Bay, I have another video where we stop at Swanage and check out the chips. Finally found the waves I was looking for, brilliant. And if you want to see what goes on beyond Swanage, I have another video again where we go right the way to Bowleys, almost Weymouth along the Jurassic Coast. So first up on the way back, is a quick sniff into this final cave, which had a baby blowhole there in the back. The camera doesn't catch the bass as it booms out of the back of that blowhole, but there you go. I heard it, that's all that matters. Though a bit splashy, not much headroom, and time to get out. And there's another pair of kayakers there. It's actually busy kayaker highway, this one. Yes, another sea kayaker with an open canoe. And we're making our way back. So here's the wedge as you come back. Staying offshore this time, just keeping it brief, get a move on. Quick break for someone to catch up. And a crafty pan along the coast. Creeping up on the haystack. Past the haystack, and there's that first cave. Back through the arch. I would sing a silly song, but let's not. Let's move swiftly on. Made it through, success, still smiling. So visible now on the left is the wee tunnel that goes through to the other side. So this time looking at the tunnel from the opposite side. Big old decision time. Do we go round the end or through the gap? The call is made, we're going through the gap. It's not a huge swell, but it's enough to keep you on your toes going through. Success. Still in the boat, didn't scrape my face along the wall, can't moan at that. Isabel's turn. Got to test that echo. Just when you think it's safe, here's the next one. But no drama, still in the boat, flushed out. Little shingle bar, and we are through. Back into Studland Bay. Not the approved launch method for shiny boats again. So she heads off, leaves me trying to launch my boat. Raving success, we're back on the water, go and catch up. Catch up with her. And just over my shoulder you might see the smokers. There they go. They spent a couple of minutes prattling about, going around the mooring buoys. I'm sure it's fun if you're on it. And we, in the meantime, are back at the beach at Studland. Stop the clock. Job done. Quick stroll back past the crazy swimmers and dump it by the Gone Kayaking recycled Copart wagon. I couldn't let you leave without looking at the GPS. So middle of the south coast of the UK, and you can see here the Jurassic area with Weymouth, Portland on the left, part of the Isle of Wight on the right. And we're smack in the middle. So zooming in, this is what you see, leaving from Studland, out round Old Harry Rocks and along towards Swanage, and then back again. So all up distance wise, this was just over 8.5 k's, and time was less than 2 hours. So it's not a strenuous route if you're going with someone not very experienced. It's a perfectly suitable route if the weather and conditions are right. It's very exposed, so don't go out that way without experience unless you're absolutely sure of the weather. As always, stay with us for more adventures. There's always going to be more to come. We're heading into winter now, but I do plan some trips where it's warmer, and we will still be paddling throughout the winter. Bye for now.